One of the partners in the Grace Rehabilitation Center has died. George McFarland was laid to rest this morning at Baker's Forge Cemetery. Everybody knew George. That's how Elaine Smith quickly sizes up her longtime co-worker at Grace Rehab. And he was well liked too, she goes on to say. George McFarland, a partner with Brian Leach at Grace Rehabilitation Center for the past 12 years, died late Friday night. Smith tells WLAF and Channel 12 that McFarland had been sick for the better part of a month. Before coming on board with Leach at Grace Rehab, McFarland was a teacher, administrator, and department head for the Campbell County school system for nearly 40 years. George McFarland was 78 years old. The word on the street Friday was that the Pinecrest Volunteer Fire Department is shutting its doors at midnight Saturday, but that wasn't the case. Campbell County Mayor William Baird tells WLAF and Channel 12 that the Volunteer Fire Department is operating as usual, even though the department is suffering some financial issues where 2 of its fire trucks are concerned. The 2 fire engines are on the verge of being repossessed. Even given that, Baird goes on to say that the all-volunteer department still has enough fire trucks to cover its service area. In a Friday afternoon meeting, Baird and other officials discussed the dilemma and decided the department should continue operating for the time being. Baird adds that the Pinecrest Volunteer Fire Department is still answering calls, has money in the bank, and is current with its bills with the exception of the 2 trucks. Out of 3 fire stations and around a dozen or so volunteers, the unit serves nearly 100 square mile area just outside of Jacksboro. Baird explains that another meeting is planned this week when he, County Attorney Joe Coker, a member from the USDA and Campbell County Rural Fire Service, along with an officer from the Board of Directors with the Pinecrest Volunteer Fire Department, will meet. Baird says that turning the service over to the Campbell County Rural Fire Service remains an option. Highs around 80, dew points 55 degrees and above. Sounds like a good setup for stormy weather, and it is. Expect hit and miss showers and thunderstorms this week, mainly in the afternoons and evenings. Some of us will see them, some will not. Rain and storms are expected to develop each day through Friday at least. A few storms may become strong to severe each day. Storms are capable of producing damaging winds, large hail, locally heavy rainfall, and cloud-to-ground lightning. Big Josh has your full weather forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Open Arms Ministry telethon struggles. Only $3,000 were raised. The actual pledge total at the end of Saturday night's telethon is $3,510 for Open Arms Ministry. The local food bank is still accepting donations, and you can bring your donation by the WLAF studios here on North 5th Street. And it's a taste of things to come this summer, travel season. Bottleneck traffic on I-75 and heavier traffic through La Follette, Jacksboro, and Caravel on the weekends. With lots of travelers ahead of the Easter holiday, traffic snarls on Campbell County's portion of Interstate 75 cropped up Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. At the crux of the delay is the single-lane stretch of I-75 near the 143-mile marker where construction crews are working. Crews need the crossover lane to repair a slide that broke loose in March on the south lane side. And that's our news for this Monday. Stay tuned. We'll be back with a lengthy report from the Campbell County Sheriff's Department. And taking a look at the press release from the Campbell County Sheriff's Department, there were 51 people booked into the Campbell County Jail over the weekend. Michael James Beeman, 36, of Spruce Lane, Caravel, for violation of the light law and the driver's license law. 36-year-old Kevin Wayne Berry of Joy Lane in Jacksboro for failure to obey and attempted suicide. Randall Scott Braden, 32, of Oak Circle in Lake City for contributing to a minor. 34-year-old Benjamin Lee Brandenburg of Jones Trailer Lane in La Follette on a capious bench warrant. Joshua Adam Brandenburg, 24, of Jones Trailer Park, La Follette, for theft of property under $500, possession of drug paraphernalia. 23-year-old Michael James Dabney of West Kentucky Avenue, La Follette, on a capious bench warrant. 40-year-old Earl Eugene Day of Lakewood Drive in Jacksboro for unlawful carrying or possessing a weapon. Maurice J. Dempsey, 41, of East Central Avenue, La Follette, for vandalism under $500. Derek Matthew DeYoung, 24, of Spruce Lane in Caravel, for no driver's license, violation of the registration law, the Tennessee financial law, and criminal impersonation. 22-year-old Joseph C. Fox of Queener Road in Jacksboro for aggravated criminal trespassing. Shirley L. Gagney, 38, of Jackson Lane, La Follette, for public intoxication. 27-year-old Kimberly Ann Gilreath of Williamsburg, Kentucky, for tax evasion. Amanda N. Harper, 27, of Powell, for driving while suspended, violation of the Tennessee financial law, and on a capious bench warrant. 52-year-old Sheila A. Havens of East Virginia Avenue, La Follette, for public intoxication. Kelly Leanne Hopper, 22, of Straight Branch Road in Speedwell, for possession of a Schedule II controlled substance. 51-year-old Robert Joshua Housley of Cave Springs Circle in Jacksboro for second offense DUI, failure to maintain control of a vehicle, failure to give a signal, violation of the light law, violation of the seat belt law, failure to yield to emergency vehicle, violation of the Tennessee financial law, and criminal simulation. 32-year-old Leonard Ray Huckabee of Landmark Road in Jacksboro for disorderly conduct and possession of drug paraphernalia. Jesse Ivy, 54, of Eagle Bluff Road in Jacksboro for public intoxication and violation of probation. 31-year-old Mark M. Ivy of Davenport Road, La Follette, for violation of probation and on a capious bench warrant. Mary Beth Ivy, 28, of Davis Road, La Follette, for criminal conspiracy and disorderly conduct. 35-year-old Vernon Lee Ivy of North 5th Street, La Follette, for disorderly conduct and interfering with an officer. Cameron Lee Jones, age 30, of Jackson Hollow Lane, La Follette, for criminal conspiracy, disorderly conduct, and unlawful possession of a weapon. 64-year-old Tommy R. Kennedy of West Beach Street in Oak Ridge on a capious bench warrant. Lowell W. Ladd, age 30, of Chapel View Drive, La Follette, for public intoxication and possession of a Schedule III controlled substance. 43-year-old Marshall David Lawson of Patty Hill Road in Caravel for domestic assault. Donald Ray Lay, 29, of Silcox Road in Pioneer for public intoxication and disorderly conduct. 37-year-old Michael Wade Ledford of Shanghai Road, La Follette, for resale. William Hartman McLean, 56, of Stone Ridge Lane, La Follette, on a capious and bond and a capious bench warrant. 22-year-old Jessica Lynn Morgan of Brook Place Lane in La Follette for violation of probation. Sammy Rose Nelson, 38, of Perkins Lane in Jacksboro, for violation of the Sexual Offender Registration Act. 65-year-old George Richard Nonson of Hilltop Circle in Caryville for DUI, speeding, failure to maintain lane control, and possession of a Schedule 6 controlled substance. Randy A. Parton, 18, of North 7th Street, La Follette, for speeding, 48, in a 40-mile zone. James Mason Paul, 19, of Williamsburg, Kentucky, on a capious bench warrant. 53-year-old Patsy Ann Robbins of East Kentucky Avenue, La Follette, for DUI, violation of the Tennessee financial law, and possession of a Schedule 3 and Schedule 4 controlled substance. 38-year-old John W. Shears of East 1st Street, La Follette, for possession of a Schedule 4 controlled substance. Thelma Joyce Shears, 33, of West 1st Street, La Follette, for possession of a Schedule 4 controlled substance. 57-year-old Leroy Leon Shoops of Garden Lane, La Follette, for driving on a revoked or suspended license, second offense, and speeding. Terry Lee Shoops, 35, of Midway Circle, Jacksboro, for violation of parole, possession of a Schedule 4 and Schedule 2 controlled substance, possession of drug paraphernalia, and destruction of evidence. Johnny Patton Silcox, 48, of East Elm Street, La Follette, on a capious bench warrant. 24-year-old Jason Bradley Smith of East 1st Street, La Follette, on a citation. Shantina Nicole Smith, 24, of Tackett Loop Road, Caryville, a citation. 32-year-old Kimberly Ann Teffenteller of Chestnut Circle, La Follette, for domestic assault. Nathan R. Vineyard, 21, of Andrew Johnson Highway in Knoxville, for rape, false imprisonment, and theft of property under $500. Barry Wayne Welborn, 31, of Williamsburg, for violation of the light law, the seat belt law, the child restraint law, and possession of drug paraphernalia, and possession of a Schedule 3 controlled substance. Lori Nicole Welborn, 31, of Williamsburg, Kentucky, for violation of the child restraint law, felony possession of a Schedule 4 controlled substance, and possession of a Schedule 3 controlled substance. Jared Andrew Wilson, 29, of Woolridge Pike in Newcomb, fourth offense of DUI, felony evading arrest, speeding, violation of the seatbelt law, driving while revoked, no driver's license, reckless driving, and resisting arrest. And last today, 31-year-old Brittany Lynn Workey of Stearns, Kentucky, for DUI, failure to exercise due care, and violation of the implied consent law. And that's our look at the news today. Thank you for joining us. Stay with us. We've got more coming your way, and we'll see you again tomorrow.
We sing happy birthday to you, and may all your dreams come true.
Happy, happy birthday.
Oh,
this is your birthday song.
Oh,
celebration all night long.
Oh,
may all you...
Good evening, everybody. Welcome into your birthdays and anniversaries. Beginning of a new week and beginning of a new month here for birthdays and anniversaries, and that's brought to you by Eastside Pizza and Deli. And we here at WLAF, Eastside Pizza and Deli, is our faithful sponsors here for the Birthday Club and Anniversary Club. And we give away 2 free dinners from Eastside Pizza and Deli for both the birthdays and anniversaries at the end of the week on Friday. And if you want to send us in your birthday or anniversaries, that qualifies you for a chance at winning those. Celebrating a birthday over the weekend, Brenda Thomas celebrated a birthday. Tate Wilson, 34. Mitz Lawson, Tammy Lane celebrated 40 years. Buddy Ayers, 94 years back on Saturday. And Keisha Wilhoit celebrating a birthday back earlier in the week. Danny Marlowe celebrated a birthday yesterday. He turned 42. Doris Rutherford celebrated a birthday as well on Sunday. And for today, Daniel Raines turned 30 years old. And if your birthday has been today as well, we want to wish you a happy birthday from all the staff here at WLAF. Celebrating an anniversary over the weekend, Linda and Harold Wright, 39 years. Larry and Sherry Chapman, 17 years. Granville and Ann Cornett, 52nd anniversary. Becky and Marvin Payne celebrated 13 years on Sunday. And Fonzie and David Evans celebrated 26 years today. So congratulations to all of you. All the names that I just mentioned are now qualified for those 2 free dinners from Eastside Pizza and Deli that we'll be having a drawing for. And if you want to get a hold of us here at WLAF and try to get a chance at winning those, you can call 562-1450. That's 562-1450, 566-1450, or 562-3557. You can email it to WLAF@bellsouth.net, or if you want to fax in your information, you can do that way too, 562-5764. And that does it for our birthdays for this second day of April. I'll see you back here tomorrow, and stay tuned. Your news continues.